Is this on? Oh, hello everybody. Here I am, Steve Keeter. That's me. Here I am. This is the latest show with my pal Larned Justin, and here's Larned right here. This is Larned. Okay, but no, here's Larned. Okay, this is Larned, and so we're doing a new show, but where the heck is Larned anyway? What's going on here? Okay, well, what it looks like to me is that I'm all by myself today, but that's because I got a couple of things to discuss that, well, some stuff that I received, small press comic book wise, sort of, comic book stuff that Larned perhaps he doesn't have, or we just couldn't get it together to discuss these things, but essentially certain things were, that, well, for instance, an old pal of mine sent me some stuff in response to some stuff I sent him, and this old pal of mine is Brent Anderson, and Brent and I go way back to the early 1970s, to the very early days. Well, for me, he did some work for me. He did the cover of Mantra #1. Mantra, my long-running comic book title, which exists to this day. Takes me forever. So this was the cover of #1 by Brent, and Brent was magnificent, and sword and sorcery type stuff was just right up his alley. He was really good at it. He was really good at drawing the human form and barbarian type stuff. But he's really good at anything. His artwork's always been very realistic, and you may know him from his more recent work, including Astro City and Kazar, which he did for Marvel Comics, and plenty of other stuff. And he's a long-established pro, but I remember him back in the early days when he was but a meager small presser like you and I. Although to me, it's a fine line between small press and pro comics and all. I mean, to me, we're all professionals. If you've been doing it forever and you do a great job at it and you love what you're doing and you put your heart and soul into it, you're a pro, and that's all there is to it. But and Brent and Frank Sirocco also did work for me and a lot of other people in the early days of small press comics. So this is the cover of Mantra #2 by Frank Sirocco. And Frank and Brent have been friends like forever. You always see them together, working together back in those days. And this was the cover of Mantra #3, again by Brent Anderson. Looks totally terrific. I mean, absolutely gorgeous, except for this logo, which I did. And it doesn't compare to the rest of the picture, but you can see it. And the artwork's a little faded over the years and everything, but Brent's always been a great artist, a great guy, and wow, what can I say? It's good. It was really good to hear from you recently, Brent. And Brent sent me some ash cans of some stuff that he's done recently that hasn't necessarily appeared anywhere else. Ash cans being non-copyrighted stuff that you just do it because you enjoy doing it, and you put it out on your own, kind of like a small press comic, and very much like a small press comic. He sent me several issues of the Jaguar, or El Jaguar. I believe that's how you pronounce it, El Jaguar, with just incredible artwork, of course, as always, from Brent. And this has to do with it's interesting. Well, it's very interesting. You got people trapped on the Mexican-American border at Tijuana, and wanting to come across, and some people are killed. And this guy El Jaguar, somehow he acquires the ability to not only travel between the world of the living and the world of the dead, but also to transform into this jaguar. In this particular issue, it doesn't show it, but I'll show it to you in a minute. I'll show you some of the victims of this border crisis, young people who've lost their moms and dads, who've lost their families, and you know, they come up to our hero here in his human state, and he does what he can to help them. And let me see what I can get, because this gets really wild. Let me see what I can find here. Yeah, this gets really wild. El Jaguar encounters an undead witch-like being in one particular issue, and he transforms to his jaguar state, and you can see it right here. And it's a very violent encounter between beings who may not be truly alive or may not be truly dead. Wow, look at this. Just look at this. If Brent isn't one of the finest talents I've ever known, I don't know who is, but good gosh, this stuff is just incredible. And they sent me like 4 issues of this, and they're not numbered, so they're ash cans, so they're not numbered, so I'm trying to figure out what order to read them in. But I just read them, and somehow it all held up, and I got the gist of the story, and I just keep marveling over this amazing, haunting artwork. So fantastic. He also sent me something, a Winged Victory, a sketchbook. Winged Victory apparently was in the Astro City series. Now I have to confess, I haven't seen Astro City. I've heard a lot about it, and I know Larned, this is Larned right here. Larned says he's seen it, and he says it's really good. So, what do you think, Larned? Yeah, Astro City? Yeah, 2 thumbs up? Okay. So, but there's a character called Winged Victory, and Brent has a sketchbook here. Sketches of this character. And, you know, I like what he says. He says, I love drawing Winged Victory. He says, Winged Victory epitomizes the grace, beauty, and strength of the female form. But her character also evinces the freedom and liberation of birds in flight, birds of prey, birds of wisdom, birds of peace. And thus we see her in flight. So, I can't thank you enough for this, Brent. Thank you so much for sending this beautiful artwork. You know, I'll treasure this, and just thanks. I gotta tell you about Brent. You know, if you want to support him, buy his buy the stuff that he's, buy the mainstream comics that he's contributed to. Buy Astro City. I'm going to do it myself. I need to look online, and I've got to order copies of this series that I missed because I'm a dunce, and I was out of small press for a while, and it was during that period. I wasn't reading. I went through a divorce, and for a while I kind of lost my way, and I made my way back to the land of the living, like the characters in this other story. I crossed the border, and we're back doing what we love to do: reading, writing, creating comics, and commenting on comics. And for you people, look, you're watching this on one of my YouTube channels. I have 2 YouTube channels, okay? And I hope you'll subscribe to both of them. It's Steve Keeter, the ClassicComicsMan. And my main channel, which is Steve Keeter, TheLoathlyDaddy. I'm going to put the links to both down below. So if you would click on those, check them out, subscribe to those channels, I'd really appreciate your support. Also, I'm going to put the link to Larned Justin's YouTube channel because our Talking Small Press Comics show is on that channel. And these episodes first appear on Larna's channel. Later, they're reposted on my channel. But if you want to see them in a timely fashion, right when the new episodes come out, and we read, review, and promote Small Press and its creators and all the talent and all the talent that's out there, and we not only review Small Press comics, we also interview creators of Small Press. Our most recent episode, we interviewed the great Steve Shipley, of Dynamite and Space Sheriff, and all this stuff. He's done over 50 years that he's been creating comics, and he's better than ever right now. Now I want to mention something else here before. Not by Brent Anderson, but I received a package. Received a nice little card from my pal Clark Dissmeyer. Clark Dissmeyer. He says, Clark Dissmeyer, he likes to publish comics featuring his character Mushy. And Mushy is a mushroom. Okay? Now, it's interesting. Oh, he also does something called Gator Town. And Clark Dissmeyer, he says that I influenced him on this. My videos about alligators, encounters with alligators, and riding my bike and riding by lakes where there are alligators. These inspired him to create something called Gator Town. And it's a town in which the gators seem to rule. I know there's something in here for Gator Town. Let me see. Well, if we look through these real quick, we'll come across it, I'm sure. Because Mushy the Mushroom appears to be on most of the covers. And some of these, he has Mushy the Mushroom reading Clark Ashton Smith and Robert E. Howard, both of whom were Lovecraft-influenced writers. Here he is. And this zany fungus is reading here from Clark Ashton Smith. And of my dreams I have builded an inn, wherein these... He could use a little help with the lettering department. I don't know what... These arrive as guests, and unto it come the dead, and a little rest and refuge. From a little rest and refuge, from the hollowness of the unharvestable wind and the burden of too great space. Creepy and eerie. And then you look at the little zany mushroom guy. This one is called Swamp Murder. He sent me a bunch of stuff. And this one is based on Robert E. Howard. And it does have a gator at the end. And there's the gator. And let me see what's happening here. Alligator and frog haunt the swampy stream, and their eyes gleam, and now the fog spreads its ivory scroll, and the stars are lost like crystals tossed in the sky's blue bowl. And deep in the glade a shadow slips, a black hand grips a gleaming blade. With some cool artwork from Clark Dissmeyer. And the red eyes of the gator gloats, and a body floats amid the river slime. Ooh. And you see that the gator has a fork and knife here. See, you can see why Mushy looks a little bit concerned. Harold and Mushy. Here's Mushy. Harold will be this armadillo. Now Mushy's on the back of the armadillo, and the armadillo seems a little concerned, but suddenly Mushroom, being the fungus that he is, he sees something. Oh, look, cow poop. So of course, being a mushroom, he jumps off the armadillo and lands in the cow poop. I mean, that's what mushrooms do. And so And so, you know, all ends well. And, you know, the armadillo wanders off happy. And so there's more and more and more. Here we go. I found Gator Town. It was kind of hidden inside something else. Gator Town. Again, the gator's, you know, ready to eat. I mean, he's got a bib on. He's got, you know, the knife and the fork. And this guy, you know, his ship has sunk. And so the guy's sitting there going like, uh-oh. Made it to the land, but guess what? Someone was waiting for him there. So, yeah. There they go. There's the mushroom. You know, always concerned because something's always happening to him. He got two alligators handing. I have to go like this to read it. Oh man, what happened at Larry's party last night? He'll probably never speak to me again. And the other gator says, I'll say he won't. You bit his jaw off. Yep, that would definitely prevent you from having a conversation. So. And check out this great bag I found at the thrift store. And this gator, and look at the bag. And the gator says, Uncle Ernie. I always wondered what happened to him. Unless you have an alligator bag here. Well, that's all that's left of Uncle Ernie. I can't. Clark Dissmeyer, he's a comic genius, okay? So there's so much stuff. This little mushroom gets around. Here he is flying an airplane. Yep. Flying an airplane. And, well, it crashes, okay? And then silence. But he's okay. He's got like a crutch. So the mushroom's okay. He escapes with a crutch. Only minor injuries. How about this one? Mushy offline. And Mushy says, it's Phony's big undersea adventure. Phony's big undersea adventure. Phony gets thrown in the toilet. That would, the phone. And so, whoops, what'd I do? So yeah, on and on and on. Mushy keeps getting into a series of adventures. I like this one. Mushy's on a deserted island, a small island, and he throws a bottle out in the ocean, with a message. And, it goes away, and he waits and waits and waits, and it comes back, and it says, your request has been denied. I don't know what happened to Mushy, but the very last page of this shows an alligator sitting there burping. Erp. So he ate something. There's more and more, and it just gets better and better. Again, that Lovecraft influence. Who's he based on? This is Clark Ashton Smith again. Fungi from Sathogwa. Fungi from Sathogwa. So if these Lovecraftian writers, wrote about a fungus, you can bet Mushy's going to be involved. Thus, I knew those anterior ones whose lives in mine were something. Clark, I can read most of it, but once in a while there's a letter that, seems a little off, Well, this is okay. I'm no great letterer myself. I'm not the best. But I love your comics. I love your artwork. And all this poetry that's in there. And this is a recent innovation. So, if you can't make out all the words, and surely you can make out most of them, you're going to enjoy the artwork for sure. So... Mushy reads Robert E. Howard. This is just a folded sheet of paper. Mushy reads Robert E. Howard. There he is. There's Mushy. Okay, here's Mushy down here with a helmet on and a sword and like Viking horns. My ruthless hands still clutch at life. Still like a shoreless sea, my soul beats on in rage and strife. You may not shackle me. My leopard eyes are still untamed. They hold a darksome light, a fierce and brooding gleam unnamed that pierced primeval night. That's right. Don't mess with Mushy. Okay? Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. A little off the beaten path. The beaten path being the Talking Small Press comic show that Larned and I do. But again, occasionally, something comes along that just deserves me to be on, on my own channel, and I need to comment on. And this is just stuff that was sent to me, so if you guys want to be reviewed on our small press show, the Talking Small Press show, you need to send, if you would, please send a copy to Larned and a copy to myself. Again, I'm going to send you Larned's ordering information down, Larned's information down below, the link to his channel and his address, so you can, send copies of your comics to him as well as to myself, and we will review these on that show, which seems to be taking off like a rocket. We're getting a lot of views, and we had one that we just put up, one before last, it has 250, 260 views, 275, something like that. So it's starting to take off. The show's starting to take off, which means there's a lot of interest in the Small Press Comic Book Network in what what we have to say. And we're not into reviewing. We don't, as Larned said recently, we don't review. We promote and encourage small press. We're not here to go, oh, well, this sucked and this wasn't very good. We emphasize the positive. So, while I might joke around about something here and there, like I can't read this text, whatever. But this is just kidding around, and we're here to promote and encourage you guys. And feel free to send us your works, and we will review them. And thank you for please subscribe to our channels, comment, and thumbs up our videos, and we'll keep things going, and do the best we can, because we're just like you. We're just small press comic book guys. So we love comics, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be able to promote your works. All right, you guys have a great time, and we'll see you sometime soon. All right, bye-bye.